ever looked at your phone contacts or social media and realized there are people you once spoke to every single day, but now you barely talk to? People who once felt like family, friends you thought would be in your life forever. But somehow, without a big fight or even drama, the friendship slowly faded. Sometimes life changes people, priorities shift, and values evolve. And suddenly, the friendship no longer feels the same. So today we are asking a very important and pertinent question. Are friendships meant to last forever, or should we outgrow them sometimes? And should that be okay? Welcome to the View from the Couch, where we have honest conversations about life, relationships, womanhood, and personal growth. My name is Mabel with my colleague Brendah. Welcome once again. Today we're discussing, like I mentioned already, outgrowing friendships. Friendships that once felt very important to us, close to us, but all of a sudden, we don't have a connection anymore. So we want to discuss this. Probably it has happened to you. Go into our chats and say something. Comment, subscribe, like, say something to us. So why do I want to understand something today? Why do we, and Brenda, I'm coming to you first, why do friendships often change as people grow older? Why do we outgrow friendships that were once very important to us?
Thank you, Mabel. I think realizing that not everyone is supposed to come with us on our journey of growth must be one of the hardest parts of growth, but it's a reality. And I would like for the viewer out there to know that this is not personal, but it's every one of us faces such change in life. And based on research, 91% of people are currently not friends with people that were once their best friends. So that should inform someone to know that this is not something personal. This is something that happens and it's normal. It's it's part of personal growth. And Mabel, to let you know that 50% of people change friendships every 7 years. So if you're at 40 and your only friends are your high school buddies, there must be a problem with you.
Is it a problem?
Something that is a surprise or a shocker. It's a normal process. It's a health part of your personal development. And this is attributed to value shifting. We might be friends today. And I'll give an example. We are a group of guys. We like smoking. We like hitting on girls. We play girls around. And at one point in time, I sit down myself and I talk to myself. I'm like, I need to be a better person. I need to stop these habits and mannerisms. And I tell my friends, I'm quitting smoking. I'm quitting being a playboy. And whenever I'm in this new person I'm becoming, and I go back to my friends and they keep reminding me, you're not so better than us because you stopped smoking. They keep pointing at girls that I need to hit on, yet they know I'm trying to outgrow these mannerisms. It will give me a thought of stepping back and downgrading these relationships for me to become a better person. So also, before we go into why why we outgrow friendships, why do friendships anyway exist? It is due to relatability that a friendship is given birth to. We go to school together, we go back home together, we come in the morning to school, we share a lunch box, and there is a math teacher we don't like, and we have to gossip about that. So once we get out of this school and we all take a different, separate ways, most of the things that used to make it to our conversations change, and they might not be appealing to either sides. And people who used to chat every day, people used to see each other every day, the space becomes wider and wider, and the friendship fades off.
Yeah.
And other thing is normal life changes. You may be three friends and two get married and you remain single. And whenever you meet these two girls, they've given birth, all they're talking about is, oh, my son has to go for soccer. My daughter has to go for ballet dances. My son has to go for swimming. Like, you're a single girl. The conversation used to be, oh, this guy is vibing me. I'm going for a date on this. We are going for a bus trip. We are flying out to Zanzibar for a girls trip. But now this people's conversation has changed because they're at a different page in life. What they're talking about is motherhood, my family, building a home. And for me, I'm single. So most of their conversation is not really relating to the chapter in life I am on. So sometimes you have to take a step back. The relationship is no longer serving your intentions. So it has to die off.
Yeah.
And we've been working together. I become a senior manager. We've been having happy hour. We go to maybe Rusuri Avenue and we drink a bit, Bandari Rise. And this job is so demanding to me. I leave office at 9. I can't catch up with my girls anymore. And it takes someone to understand, this person is in a new position. Maybe it is overwhelming. She's also trying maybe to study. That's why she doesn't have time. Someone would feel like, oh, she became a senior manager and, she's trying to avoid us. And sometimes the gap just widens and widens and widens. But all I need to tell you, it's a normal process. It's a healthy part of development. And whenever you choose to progress yourself, don't feel like you're betraying someone because it is for your own good.
The other thing is that I want to understand, why do some friendships survive certain seasons? How come some survive and some don't? With all that you've said, sometimes you don't talk, sometimes you take it, but then you'll hear this people will say, we've been this clique of 3 or 5 since, I don't know, S2, whatever, and we are now grown, we're even married women, we have children, and we are still the best of friends. How come some friendships are able to survive all that you've spoken about?
Thank you, Mabel. If we look at value alignment, if our values align, most times we have to remain in the friendship because we have aligned goals as friends. And I'll give you an example. I have high school friends, but these friends, we are still friends because we chose to invest together. We're doing business together. So we are in each other's space because we have something in common, which makes us relate. It's the business. So whenever we evolve, we have this business that is always keeping us together. We are growing together as a high school buddies. So that's one thing that keeps us as friends. Evolving together, if you shared with your girls, I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of gossiping. I think we need to do better. We can do personal reading and educating ourselves. We can choose personal development. And they jump on the track like, oh, I'm also reading. Let's get into a reading habit. I'm also trying to study these online courses to see that I get better at this skill. Like, you keep evolving together. I think that's why some relationships stand time and others fall off. Whenever there is evolvement and the team is evolving together, there is a chance that we'll be friends forever.
Okay. And do you think adulthood and its responsibilities make friendships even harder, maintaining them even harder?
Yes, Mabel. It does make it very difficult given the competing priorities. I'll give you an example. You finished, you graduated, you get into a job, you're trying to get your master's done, you try to get your career into shape, you're trying to find a husband, or if sometimes you're married, you have children. So you have to focus on the children, on your career, on your studies. Most times it's hard to strike a balance.
Yeah.
And be like, you know what? I need to focus also with my friends to make sure the bond doesn't die. Sometimes we are all eaten up by this trying to build a career, trying to build a family, and we neglect this other thing, which is the friendship hand. It becomes so complicated as adults to focus on so many things and also keep their friendships going. Yeah, that's why we need to be intentional in loving our friends. Make sure you're texting them, make sure you have some activities that you do together to keep the bond.
You know, adulthood, they say adulthood is a scam. So you see, there's this thing I've seen on social media where they say adult relationships is telling your friend that let me call you back in 5 minutes, and then calling them back 1 month later and them understanding that it's okay, them not feeling bad. Because honestly, I might want to call you Brenda and to talk about something. I can even say something that triggers a thought to think about you. But because of everything, or my boss is calling me, or my son is saying something, or I need to also do this, somehow I forget. And I keep saying, I'm going to call her. Oh, but then just in a few minutes. Then 1 month later, I say, oh my God, I said I was going to call Brenda back. And then I call you back. And if you're really not going to be offended, then I know she understands. But some people will be offended, but then you didn't actually really intend to not call them back. So friendships are hard and
Quite
maintaining them.
intentional with my friendships. I always write down who to talk to each month. Whenever thought comes about my friend, I always text them. My thoughts are with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like me and my best friend, we don't talk always, but sometimes she understands me and I understand her. Like sometimes there are battles you're fighting in life, and you all, you want to be yourself, and you're trying to keep it to yourself to manage it, and you'll be like, oh, you're so quiet, are you all right? Once you say, yeah, I'm all right, it's like, I was just checking on you. But
Yeah.
side time we be intentional, like I'm going to talk to so and so. At least when you remember someone, maybe text them like, my thoughts are with you, but I plan to give you a call, or I plan for us to meet soon.
Yeah.
Do people sometimes naturally grow in different directions?
Yeah, most definitely so. I mean, just like you said earlier, sometimes on our part of life, realize that I can't take so and so along with me, but also I've been itching to share something. And there are I have two examples of people that were my very close friend. One of them was through high school and the university, and they were close. Where I was is where she was. But we get out of campus, she gets married, and I was even a maid, part of, her entourage, the bridal entourage. And we were very close friends. And after that, we didn't quarrel, just like we said. We didn't do nothing. I tried to keep up. She was just not keeping up. She got married and everything. Probably I wasn't married. I don't know if that is what kept us, So maybe we are growing in different directions because I don't know if it's because she's married and I'm not, or we finished the university, or sometimes I believe our purpose for friendship is done. Our friendships have purposes. Maybe we were meant to be friends during a certain season, and that season has ended and we have moved on. But those things they had, some friendships had, and honestly, there are friendships I have actually had to mourn when they have ended. And I'm like, we used to be real close friends. What happened? And it feels bad, but I mean, sometimes we grow into different directions because of career, because of life, because of seasons in life. And that's okay, I think. I think that's okay. Just like you said, and I was really intrigued by the percentage you gave of 91% people that were once your friends and not your friends anymore. And I'm like,
No, yeah, they were once best
best friends even.
and they are no longer considered friends.
And you can really imagine what happened.
91%.
Well, but yeah.
And it's natural that always, if every 7 years, you must shed 50% of your friendships.
I'm crying. That doesn't feel so good. I don't know.
It's natural
When we have friends at a certain point, we feel like they are going to move with us for the rest of our life. You feel like this is my person, I'm sharing everything with them. And all of a sudden, they know everything about you, but you don't talk to them anymore. And then sometimes, if you've shared some toxic things, you feel like the world is going to know. if at all you had a toxic, separation and everything. But yeah.
Such is life, Mabel. And you've already hinted on do you believe personal growth creates that friendship distance?
hmm One, it's because it might be that again we're not on the same level. You feel like this is where I am, this is where this person is, or this is where they are, this is where I am. So there's that growth that comes, and you feel like they're not aligning with my current, uh, the current realities of my life. But also sometimes growth, and I'm going to say this with a grain of salt because I have felt it. Sometimes you get some personal growth, and this other person feels like, I mean, there's a bit of jealousy that comes in, and I mean, let me say it as it is. Personal growth, probably in your career, or this person is married or everything, and then this other person feels like, why aren't I also experiencing this? Why is she the one getting this and I'm not the one? And I mean, that jealousy, that feeling like I should also be there, but I'm not there. Sometimes people start feeling bad. They feel jealous. I mean, bitterness comes in, and they'll just separate. And for me, I've again, earlier on I said I have two examples. My second example was about that. My other friend, some other friend of mine thought or felt like they should live my life. I had shared everything. This is someone I had shared so much with, but I felt like they should have my life instead, right? They should own my life because I was growing and they were probably not at the level that I was at. So jealousy came in, bitterness came in, and we somehow separated.
Didn't outgrow them.
I outgrew that one properly. I outgrew
You
that
didn't
one.
outgrow them. You were just having uh evil's eyes around you to
I guess so, but
watch your downfall.
yeah. So I gain personal growth. Yes, it could be the jealousy, the bitterness, but also sometimes that we get to a certain level of growth in life, and you feel like again we don't align. Our likes, our dislikes, our the life we are just not aligning. Our interests, our goals, our values don't align anymore. So it could be even growth spiritually, may not even be tangible things, but spiritually, emotional growth. And you feel like we are not at the same level, in terms of thoughts, in terms of emotions. So somehow you part ways because every time you come close, you come together, you feel like we are not aligning. What I'm talking about, she's not understanding.
There are some mannerisms you cannot go, like when you choose to stop something, like you be like, I want to be a better person, like you're trying to quit maybe drugs, and this kind of a clique is they're dealing in drugs, definitely you will grow apart.
But there's something I was just speaking about with our crew here. And it's really about this is just food for thought for everyone. Yeah? When our dear friends get married, do not throw us away, us who are single. I don't know why people go and say that
No,
now that you're married.
remember, we don't glorify you
No, this is
as
the thing.
single.
This is the thing. When people get married, I've had it. I've been at a wedding where someone's uncle has told her, and it's just, I've heard people say it, someone's uncle has told her, now that you're married, get married friends. Leave these single girls alone. In fact, don't invite them to your home because they are going to break your marriage. And then you feel like, okay. So indeed, like my first friend I talked about, I feel like it was actually the marriage that shifted because, like I told you, I was even made at her wedding. We were okay. But once the marriage kicked in, I tried to keep contact. I tried to call. I tried to, nothing. The girl just refused.
When you evolve, it's not that married people, I will speak for a few, for myself anyway, it's not that married people would cease friendships with their single friends. It doesn't happen like it's not that. It's not the one reason that makes these friendship makes these relationships end or friendships end. There are more to it. than just someone being married. We are at different pages. As I told you before, that you come into, whenever you meet me, I'm talking about my son, I'm talking about my husband, I'm like, When are you getting married? Why are you still single? Can't you find them? Like, I start being like your annoying aunt in the village who is always asking you about that. And also, if you're saying the person left you because they were married, sometimes you need to relate with people who understand your situation. It might not because she's married, but she might be going through a phase in life where her marriage is not even stable as you would think, and she's seeking like wisdom from people who are in that kind of situation. And she's like, Mabel might not be able to advise them. Yesterday, actually, I watched a video on socials where some lady was saying she had a disagreement with her husband. And when she had a disagreement, she couldn't take it anymore. The honeymoon phase was done, and she felt like, I need a break. I need to, like, maybe find an Airbnb and be there by myself so that I don't hurt this person. I don't have to do anything harmful to this person because of the disagreements they were having. And what happened? She calls on her girl. She's like, you know what? I'm renting out for a few days. My husband annoyed me and I'm staying somewhere to calm down, then I can go back. Then the friend was like, no, why would you stay in a place where they even don't know where you are? They don't know even what you up to. What if they accuse you of being with another man? Why don't you come to my home? She listened. She went to that Freddy's home. These are single girls. They gave her bedroom. She she was the one gossiping about her. We told you she can't even be married for 3 years. She's now out. She's even staying in my home. Do you see these selfies? She's taking them from my home. You see, she cannot she's not marriage material. She couldn't even last long than 2 years. Even 2 years we had dated her really so much. And those are friends that she thought were her friends. And these were single friends. So they wanted her single, not married. But thank God, the husband had sensible friends that were like, you know what, this marriage has to work, and you guys have to work this marriage, and you have to stay in this marriage. Because I think after 3 days, she went back home, and they had to work within their differences and reconcile. And she said she's no longer friends with those friends. She's no longer inviting any girlfriends for stayovers, because she used to even invite them for stayovers, until she realized that there were enemies and jealousy people around her. So sometimes someone is going through a phase in life and they think Mabel might not understand me. Mabel might judge me, because if I come to Mabel and I tell her, you know what, I'm struggling. This is what I'm going through in my marriage. Mabel was like, oh, singlehood is fun. What are you exactly doing there? I can even look after my son. Come on, and maybe that person is not ready to leave the marriage. So there are so many reasons, but I don't think getting married is one of the reasons that we leave our single friends. I don't believe so.
Well, well, I don't know, but I've really had those people who just genuinely cut off their friends because they feel like, okay, I'm now in a different phase. And I mean, probably it's because it's growth. You feel like I'm in a different phase and all that. But it just triggered a thought in my head.
Yeah, and sometimes the kinds of friends you have. Mabel, we've been friends. We've been, say, for example, always at what were those bars are no longer in Kampala. I was going to say the names of bars that are no longer in Kampala. That's all matter. Oh, you've been like you've been smoking shisha. I'm trying to quit shisha. I'm trying to get pregnant. Whenever I think of, coming back, I feel like, I'm going to go back to this. And sometimes you've been through certain habits that you wouldn't want your husband to know about, or the person you've become, you wouldn't want to be associated with certain mannerisms that used to go on in your life. So, and you try to keep away from whoever you associated with during that time because you've started a new phase in life of a married woman, a wife, a mother, blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
What Brenda, just a minute. What I want to say is, just something you triggered in my mind is that for me, if I get to a certain phase, or let me say I'm celebrating something, and all of a sudden this person doesn't want to celebrate with me, then that person was never my friend to start with. You know, they were just enemies,
Yeah.
dressed in a white garments and everything, but a wolf dressed in a sheep's, garment. So those were not friends to start with. So those are also there. And I don't know how we can actually, probably this is not a discussion for today, but I don't know how we can always be able to know that this is a genuine good friend and this is not a good friend. I don't know what we can look at to know, because sometimes those things happen, and there are times we actually keep unhealthy friendships for too long when we know this friendship is not healthy. But I don't know, there are those things that make these people stay around, and probably we've talked about them. But that person was never your friend to start
Yes.
with if they're not able to celebrate something good with you. Yeah. If someone is celebrating someone
Mabel,
for
I
leaving
so
their
believe.
marriage, then this person was never their friend to
Hmm.
start with. Yeah.
I so believe in discernment, and God keeps showing us the signs that this person is not your friend, but you keep on, pushing yourself, pushing to thinking they've stayed here longer with me, they are my friends. But I believe if you sought the Holy Spirit and you're like, God, show me those people that are really, really mine. And I've learned one thing in life, and one prayer that I always pray to God is to put me through a storm for me to see who will remain with me. Because before you go through a certain storm, you're beloved, you're the sweetheart, you're the darling, you're the princess. But there are certain things in life that will put you somewhere, and you get to know who is really for you and who really loves you for you and who wanted access to you because of the things you can give to them.
Do you think um every friendship or all friendships have to last forever for them to be meaningful?
No, Mabel, I don't think a friendship is supposed to last forever to be meaningful. Life is a journey. And I believe for the purpose that God created for us for, we always have those angels that come into our life at a particular phase in life to help us through that season we are in at that particular moment in time for us to continue. Moses got the Israelites from wherever they were, but he never made them he never made it to the promised land. So that's how life is. We find these so nice people at a particular point in time. For example, I have two people that were part of my formation to who I am today and to the logistician I became. And shout out to Pascalina Maskin, guys, if she's watching this, she's a lady from Zimbabwe. She mentored me to be the procurement person I later became. But if I had not met her at that point in time to help me just out of my university, maybe I wouldn't have been this person I am today. But she helped me at that time. She mentored me. She told me how to write a CV, how to apply for jobs, how to be confident on interview panels. She did all that for me. But we're no longer in close contact. I pray for her. I check on her once in a while. So she was for that season, and she really was part of my formation. But I'm still going on with my life despite taking different directions in life. So I believe wherever we are, whatever season we are in life, we meet people to help our destination. And that is for God's purpose. It is designed like that.
When I asked this question, actually, if all friendships are meant to last forever, I also thought about something. I don't know if people actually understand what friendship is. People some people, everyone they meet is a friend. My friend, I have my friend, my friend. Some people are just acquaintances, people we know, just someone I know for a certain time. But a friend should be more. There should be something that is connecting. You should be more. And people, for example, you find someone, even every workmate is a friend. I don't think things are like that. So again, even who are exactly and truly friends, they're not always friendships. We said some friendships are for a season, and they're meant to be meaningful and very useful and helpful for that season.
There's something I remember about negativity. I think the year 2011, I used to associate with negative people who never say any good, like see any good in anybody. Even if someone was of some help to them, they would still see negatives. Even when you're trying to do something like prosper in life, trying to put yourself out there to be a better person, they will always see negativity. So I sat down, I was like, but what kind of people am I associating myself with?
Mm.
They're going to infect me to become negative, to never see any good in any person, to never have any gratitude. There are people who did have any, these are not even friends, these were relatives. No gratitude whatsoever, ever negative about everything and everyone. So I was like, excuse me, I need to stop this. And slowly by slowly, I cut them off, and whoever asked them, how is so and so, they're like, oh, munage, yakuna sente na trade vira. Wow. That would be their answer. But I chose to get out of that because it wasn't the person I was becoming. I deserved to do better and to be around positive people. And that wasn't serving me as a person at that point in time. I had to walk away. And yeah, it's not that I don't like them or I hate them, but I just had to choose my soil and get myself into better circles that would support who I was becoming at that point in time. Why do people feel guilty about drifting from friends?
Well, it's because at some point you felt like these were your people. You felt like you're going to move, a lifetime with them. They're going to be part of you for the rest of your life. And when you drift apart, you feel like maybe I didn't do enough. Maybe I should have called more. Sometimes we have called, like I mentioned, you call this person, you try to look for them, you try to do everything to keep connection, but they have just drifted apart. You have drifted apart and you've not fought anything, so you feel like, what happened? What did I do? What didn't I do? So yes, sometimes you feel guilty because you feel like this was my person. I've shared so much with this person. They have shared so much with me. We have moved a journey with this person. We have gone through things. There are people that you've gone through thick and thin. You've moved hills and valleys with this person, but all of a sudden they're not part of your life and you feel bad. You feel like, how? They should still be part of my crew. They should still be my person. So you feel that guilt. You try to connect, you try to reach out, you try, but sometimes it just doesn't work. And I mean, life is life. You let life do what it wants, but there's that guilt where you feel like, maybe I should have done more, maybe I should have looked out for more, maybe I should have called, maybe I should have. But sometimes, honestly, you've done enough and things just didn't happen. So yeah.
And can someone just create the space without the drama or just respectfully?
Oh yes. Many times you're like, this one, eh? Oh no. Like you just feel like, no drama. I'm just not going to call. I'm just not going to reach out. Let me just respectfully, leave this person, push them aside because of some things you might have seen. Again, like you mentioned, maybe they just don't say anything good about someone. Maybe you feel like this person doesn't wish me the very best. I've seen those good traits. You feel like this person in the near future, they're not going to be the best person for me to move with. There are those things you'll see and also feel like, I don't think I need to continue my journey with this person. But also, you don't want to create drama. You don't want to burn bridges because you also don't know, you might need this person somehow, somewhere in the future. You don't know. They say human beings meet, we are not mountains. So you just choose to silently, you know, let her be or let him be, and life moves on, and that's okay. And I think for me, sometimes that's even the best way. I don't have to say much. I don't have to quarrel. I don't have to tell you much, but you will probably think about it later. Oh, so and so doesn't call me anymore. They don't call me for gigs. Maybe you used to call them for gigs. So they don't do that. And you will search yourself. So, and I think for me, honestly, creating that distance peacefully is the best way to cut off some friendships.
So already you've talked about your preference to a silent, to work away than a drama. So do you think silent drifting is better than confrontational?
Yeah, for me, like I mentioned, silent drifting is better. There's this one time, and one of those two friendships I mentioned earlier, the one I said, I realized they were a bit jealous. There was a bit of bitterness that came in. Someday, one person who was a mutual friend sent me an audio on WhatsApp. And this audio, this person who I thought was my very good friend, had sent me um had said so many bad things about me. And honestly, I'm not saying it to defend myself, but none of these things were true. So because this mutual friend also knew I was not this kind of person, he was like, I shouldn't have sent you these things, but let me send you this audio. And this was a recording of the other person saying all these things to me. I would have confronted. I mean, that natural thing would have been for me to confront. I'd be like, how dare you? I mean, but honestly, I didn't say nothing. I was shocked at myself, but I also don't love drama. I don't like drama and I hate confrontation. Honestly, I hate confronting. Actually, if I ever have to confront someone, I feel like having more I move out having more tension than the way than before I went there. So for me, I love silently drifting away.
Sometimes I choose silent. If the relationship wasn't like really, really very close, I would just silently cut the communication. But if someone was close to me, sometimes I want to extend grace to people and have some time to talk about an issue. If I feel it's going to better us or it's going to better that person, but if I feel that us talking about this is not going to yield any better results, I just silently cut you off.
Yeah.
But if I feel that our relationship could get better, or you yourself personally, if I need to talk to you about something that will make you a better person, maybe in your future relationships, I would. I remember there's someone who is, she was close and she used to be also friends with some of my relatives. There's something I shared with her, and I know I'd shared with her alone because she was who were close. And my mom gets to hear about something that I not shared with her. It was something good, not something bad. But my mom gets to know something about me that I didn't share with her. And I always share with my mom, but I had not shared with my mom because for some reasons I was making myself ready to share with her. So I got to know, like, after 3 months, I'd gone quiet on this person. I was like, oh, but I think I need to be a better friend. So I typed this message. Actually, I typed it overnight and read it again in the morning and read it again. Like, I typed that message for 3 days, rereading it so that I don't come off rude, and sent it to her. I'm like, you know what? I'm not quite so sure why share such information as somebody who is my relative, and me, the relative, have not already shared it with them. And this has gone to my mom, and my mom is asking me like asking me how something big like that could happen, and she's not aware.
Mm.
So this person was like, she sent me messages. I'm a kind of person where I go to notification and I scroll through your messages and I read, but I don't go to the app to read to show you that I've read them. She later on deleted them. She was almost accepting that, because I was expecting only one answer. I'm sorry, maybe I did it to motivate this person. Like, I wanted for her to share the context as to why she did what she did. And I'm sorry was what I was looking for. But she deletes the messages and she tells me to call her. I call her and she gets the other person on phone to act like she's asking about me and something, and they already talked with the other person, of course, because I have a dot of friends. This I repeat, I have a dot of friends, and where I put my information, I know where I've put it, and if it's saturated somewhere, I know where it came from. So she tried to act like she didn't do it. On that phone call, I listened. Then I was like, wow, are we immature to this level? So I was like, you know what? I love you so much. I wanted this relationship to be in my heart. I didn't even say anything. I wanted this relationship to work, for us to be close, but I don't think we can still be close because, it's a matter of saying, you know what, I'm sorry. I did this for this, but to try and show me that you didn't do something that I know very well you did. And also that person told me it is so and so who told me, you know? So sometimes confrontation might not yield any results.
There are many things that can show us that a friendship is not going to move forward. You can see probably things like value conflicts, one-sided efforts. You're trying so much to keep a friendship, but it's not, working. Growing apart, sometimes we just grow apart naturally and we are just not moving together. Constant negativity. The other party has negativity all the time. They're always negative, and we talked about that. The lack of support. You feel like this person should be my person, but they are just not supporting you. Feeling emotionally drained. Sometimes some friendships really drain us. And they feel like, I'm trying, but this friendship is draining me emotionally, physically, psychologically. And you feel like, I can't move with this friendship, for the rest of my life. So really, those are some of the things that you can look at and be like, I feel like this friendship was actually meant to stop somewhere. This is where we call it, quit with this relationship.
Have you ever had this friend you advise, you're in a wrong, they're in a wrong relationship, but you keep advising them and they keep going back to the same, like you're talking about those relationships, friendships that emotional and physical and whatever, psychological drain. This person is in a wrong relationship. The bar is too low. Actually, there is no bar. You keep telling them, "Well, you deserve better. You're a beautiful girl. You can get a better man." Oh my God. You're the wrong person. There's this person who is constantly borrowing. Can I borrow money? Can you lend me money for gas? Oh, get me 20K. I'm receiving money next week. I can't pay my maid. Oh, I have no money for lunch. You'd be like, excuse me. The last I checked, you earn more than me, and when we put our responsibilities on the table, and I have more responsibilities than you, but you're living out of your means. Try to budget and work on your finances. Month 1 month, 2 year, 1 year, the same person is like that. You end up feeling, you know what? This is normal. I'm done. I'm exhausted and I'm burnt out. I need to get out of this kind of friendship.
From all we have discussed above so much, how can people maintain healthy relationships and friendships that continue to grow positively, without causing drama and everything?
Yeah, Mabel, I think intentionality as we grow is very important. Knowing who your friends are and keeping to keep doing things that evolve you as friends together, the things that make you as friends grow, like investing together, finding common avenues to keep bonding, like belonging to certain clubs like Lions Club, Interact Club, playing sports together. Some of those things would make you be together. Like I gave you an example of my old school girls and boys that we invest together. That has kept us together as families. We come almost from the same neighborhood and we are investing together. So we are retiring together. So I believe, and also open communication, because nobody's perfect in friendships. We all have our weaknesses and we need to talk to our friends if we don't appreciate certain mannerisms. And if they are willing to change, well and good. If they are not willing to change, we can move on. But I believe we should extend grace to each other because nobody is perfect, and respecting someone's boundaries. If I've told you, text me 8 to 8, I don't see why you should go out of your way if something is not emergency to text me after 8. And if I've told you I hang out these certain days and I don't hang out these certain days, don't make it a song. Oh, you think you're so perfect. Oh, you think you're being a better wife than, you know? Yeah, let us respect boundaries.
Yeah.
I believe with communication, with evolving together, with aligning our goals and values, we can make better friendships. But also, we shouldn't stay away from making new friends, because as we journey in life, we need different people to help our purpose and get into our to get us to our destinations.
Okay. Thank you, Brenda. So from all that, this brings us to our very interesting quick fire round. Brenda, are you for old friendships or new friendships?
You said I pick only one.
Yeah. One.
Old friends.
Yeah, quite unfortunate that it has to be one. To me as well. I think old friends.
Clock it.
Clock it. What's told? Anyway, the next one is, are you for loyalty or personal growth?
Personal growth.
Okay, I will go.
Mabel, how about you?
It's a tough one. I think loyalty. I don't know. I think loyalty. And then, are you for honest conversations or silent drifting?
Wow. Honest conversations.
Silent drifting.
I'm at that level in life. I'm at that level of life. Chinanjo chanchimize.
Well, I'm for silent drifting through and through. Are you for
If we are really, really friends,
Yeah.
I'll talk to you.
okay? Are you for few close friends or many acquaintances?
A dot of friends.
Yeah, same here. Few close friends.
Dot of friends.
I'm also for few friends, really. And distance or forced relationships or friendships? Well, of course, that.
I am for distance. I am for distance.
Yeah. And interesting, very quickly, this is a yes or no question. Can ex-friends become friends again?
Yes, of course.
Cringe, depending. It's a yes or no, but depending on how we ex or we become ex-friends.
Yeah, it's. Remember, if it was silent and our values didn't align then, and you worked on yourself and we are aligning,
Yes.
sometimes also we might have been friends like uni, and we get into career different. You working abroad, I'm working in Uganda, and the communication is not that here as good as it used to be. And then you come back to Uganda, we reunite and we become friends. Maybe before you weren't a mother and my conversations were boring, and now you're a mother, we relate.
Yeah, I think there is
We
context.
can still become friends with you.
There is context to that question. If that's the context, yes, but if there was toxicity involved, zero chance. So anyway, that's our quick round. You've had the conversation. Interesting. Friendships are very important to us, but also they can become toxic. Sometimes we drift apart with no drama. Sometimes there's no, issue at all. But life happens, and our friends sometimes drift away. And honestly, not every friendship is meant to last forever or for a lifetime. And that doesn't always mean that someone is a bad person. Some people are part of our life for a season, while others stay for a lifetime, and that's okay. That's how God made these things to happen. And the important thing is recognizing which friendships continue to help you grow in your life journey and which ones you have to outgrow at a certain point in your life. Yeah? So always pray to God to help you understand, who do I continue with in my journey and where do I stop with certain people in my life's journey. So thank you very much for joining us today on The View from the Couch. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, hype us, I remain Mabel with my colleague Brenda. Thank you very much for joining us. We love you very much. See you next time on the couch, and bye.